The Worker Co-op I'm a founding member of is called Breadfruit, and we are a woodworking cooperative interested in re-indigenizing working class Black and brown people's relationships with craft.
Where are you coming out of?
Del Bronx, Bronx, New York.
Awesome. And you did mention your role in the co-op a bit. Did you want to expand on that a little bit more?
Sure. The co-op was started with myself, one of my best friends, and one of her friends. Um, we started through Green Workers Cooperative's co-op development program. Uh, Her friend pretty soon realized that she didn't have the capacity. My best friend and I did the whole program together, and maybe a year, maybe a little less after completing it, she was like, this co-op thing is not for me. So then I was there left trying to make sense of it. Ended up finding someone else who was super interested and could bring a really fun farming perspective to what we were doing. But co-op mistake number one, didn't build trust first, and got very aggressively burnt. So now, right now, we're just well, not just. I'm not going to downplay a study group, but we are primarily studying um, as the co-op, as kind of like a means to membership for people who are interested.
Awesome. Coming here is a big commitment. What are you seeking to get from the conference, or what were you seeking?
What I was seeking to get from the conference really was just learning what other cooperators are doing around the country, but primarily meeting other Black cooperators. And I think that was a success. This is my second conference, and it feels like a much Blacker space since then, which I very much appreciate. And having conversations around what does cooperation look like in the context of our historical perspective and our varying historical perspectives as Africans in the U.S. And that was exciting, particularly with regard to discussing class and our relationship to anti-imperialism. So I suppose not consciously, but that's what I was looking for, and I found it.
When you said this is your second conference, is it your second USFWC conference?
Yes.
Okay, cool. What has helped your co-op the most?
What's helped my co-op the most is actually knick-knack, like being able to access technical assistance, being able to access grants through our network, through the entire cooperative network throughout the U.S. That has been being built. That's been what's really keeping us afloat. Other co-ops, like other cooperatives, other cooperative developers. I'd say something that's keeping me personally afloat with while trying to rebuild this co-op is seeing people's interest in alternative economic models that have no idea about co-ops. That warms my heart.
What's something unexpected that's helped your co-op?
I'd say something that's unexpectedly helped my co-op the most is how those of us who are interested in building this thing together have just shown up for one another with a lot of grace and care, and been really flexible with ensuring that we're all living our lives as balanced as we can, considering what we need to build and considering what we have to uphold to be able to build the things we need to build. So like our jobs and other commitments that may exhaust us. So really just like holding space.
What's something that you wish your co-op had to support y'all?
More relationships to people interested in finding tactical ways to share cooperativism in working class Black and brown communities from an anti-imperialist and internationalist perspective. That's something that, you know, is not a direct help to us, but I think it's something that would be helpful in growing the understanding of co-ops for people to even be interested, you know, and would also help us just like politically have a ground and be aligned with anti-imperialist movements and understanding cooperative economics as what was said on a plenary just recently, like part of a global movement toward the end of imperialism. Organizing around that connection, I think, would help us all greatly, but us in particular, because we enter our space of craft through radical autonomy. Like these are these are skills that I think everybody should have, especially under systems or umbrellas that make very clear that they're looking to kill us. So basic autonomy skills, and doing so through understanding this is a broader movement globally.
What's been the best or most useful part of the conference so far?
Just chatting to people. Like the breakouts have been incredible, but just having conversations with like minds has been very fulfilling, and also is a reminder to not gaslight myself into thinking that this is some abstract like concept when these are not. These are very practical and dialectic and responsive understandings of how an economy should work. So it's just really nice to not feel insane because we live in capitalism and everything else will convince us that what we're talking about is some wild abstract utopia that'll never happen. So seeing people actually do it and sharing our experiences as people who are actively doing it, have been, or like myself who have just recently come into the world, is really empowering.
Is there anything going on in your co-op that's something you're proud of or that you're excited about?
Yeah, the study group, which is all that's going on, but super proud of it and super excited about it because it's not as something I've experienced in other circles with my grassroots organizing background. When it comes to political education, it's not a space that's filled with people who already know the topic. It's like all, aside from maybe myself and one other person, and I'm still pretty new, all people who are not familiar with cooperative economics at all. And I'm incredibly proud of that. And incredibly proud to just be surrounded by people, even by chance, who are interested in these topics and want to learn more.
Now's a moment that I'm setting aside for people to plug away. Just talk about anything you want to say in support of your co-op.
Follow us on Instagram. Um, our handle is @breadfruit. Once again, we are a woodworking and craft cooperative interested in re-indigenizing our relationship with making as soon-to-be liberated people globally. We are based in the Bronx. Also support the People's Senate and Black abolitionist organization looking to start a People's Senate in the United States and essentially actively divest from these systems of extraction to the best that we can in our capacity. Spirit of Mandela. Otherwise, keep cooperating, bro. Like, just keep cooperating, people. That's how we can all support one another and support other co-ops whenever you can. Buy co-op. And I don't mean that in like the basic, like, oh, buy black. Like, no, like, live these principles. Do the internal work, please. Do your shadow work. Me too. Everybody do their fucking shadow work so we can live in a better world than this.
What's the shadow work?
Just the internal work. Deal with your traumas. Stop running from them. I know I used to run from my traumas by overexerting myself and having no boundaries, which works perfectly with being a grassroots organizer. So don't do that shit. Go journal. Fucking meditate. See what's going on inside so you don't bring your trauma into your co-op. Please. Thank you.
All right, thanks so much.
Thank you.